I'm here with Kansas State Representative Charlotte O'Hara. The major issue of this session was approving a balanced budget during tough economic times. Were you satisfied with the final bill?
No, and I voted against it. I believe there were 22 Republicans who voted against the final bill. And I don't agree that it was a balanced budget because I need to give a little bit of a broader perspective. We increased spending by $375 million this year over 2011. And to fund that, we actually transferred $200 million from the KDOT Transportation Fund over to the State General Fund. When you do those kinds of manipulations of the budget, I don't call that a balanced budget. And people have to understand that we overspent our projected revenues by the latest projections that I saw was $222 million. And that is on top of the fact that we increased our sales tax by 1 cent, which in the fiscal year of 2012 will be an entire year of that, which increased revenues between $375 to $400 million. Our budget expenditures in the state of Kansas are just out of control. We are 15% over 2010's budget of $5.2 million.
So, what challenges lie ahead for the 2012 session and Governor Sam Brownback?
Well, I think that Governor Brownback really missed an opportunity in this 2011 session to really be bold in presenting a budget that would have made the cuts necessary to truly balance our budget. Now that we're going to go into the 2012 session with our expenditures now set at a new high, $6 billion, and it's going to be tremendously hard to fund all of these continuing programs because they promised not to transfer that $200 million from KDOT in the next fiscal year. How he's going to do that, I have no idea. It's going to be extremely problematic. And of course, education takes at least 50% of our budget, and we are not answering the questions as to how can we really provide education for our children in an effective and efficient manner.
Many parents are concerned with further reductions in state school spending. That aspect of the session has gotten a lot of area publicity. What are your thoughts regarding school funding?
Well, I think a lot of people do not understand that K through 12 is 50% of our budget, $3 billion. The cost per student across the state of Kansas is $12,300. And I think that the question that parents need to ask, why is it costing so much more in the public sector to educate our children than in the private sector? We send our child, well, she's 14, a young lady. We send our 14-year-old to a private school, $7,600 a year. We have sports, we have library, we have music, we have a great quality education. So the question is, why is it costing $12,300 for us to provide that same education in the public sector? I think the second question has to be, who owns those education dollars? Is it the systems or is it the individual child, for the parents to make a choice as to where they send their child to school? And this is interesting because I've been looking across not only the United States but in Europe as to how they fund their schools, and they're having very similar conversations. In fact, England right now is putting a program in place called free schools, which is similar to our charter school idea, but their conversation is who does the dollars belong to as far as government spending on education. And it's going to continue to be a hotly debated subject.